From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team. Dominating with Dawson.
Something I've been wanting to say for a very long time. Ben Dawson, I need me some Ben Dawson.
Woohoo! Great news. You got it.
That's
It's been
right.
a minute, huh?
That's right.
Ah,
Like the call block on my texts is turned off. He's now popped up and ready to play some more.
That's right. Welcome back, me.
So all the people who are writing in saying, did Ben get smart and finally turn you people down? Nope.
Ben got lazy.
Yeah, baby.
I think we all needed a break, a little bit of one.
But I missed you guys.
Life happens, man.
I'm glad to be back talking about a little bit of racing with y'all.
Yeah.
What do we got today?
All right. We have a listener question from Code Name Vicki.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
What?
Code Name Vicki. I don't know who that could be. Ben Dawson. We had a podcast earlier on, and we were talking with the famous Peter Krause, and we were talking with the equally famous Ross Bentley.
Yeah.
And, a listener still had questions even after attending a class with them for 2 days.
Wow. How about that?
I think it's a simple question, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm overthinking or underthinking. Who knows?
All right. Let's
Ben
hear
Dawson. Simple. What is full throttle? And what does it mean to get back to full throttle?
Full throttle is when you have your throttle application, which means applying the throttle. It's either open or closed or somewhere in between. But it's when you have it fully open, like as open as it can be. Like, when you stretch the throttle cable with your finger up under the hood, and then you pull it as tight as you can. Then you double check and make sure that when you push the pedal down, it's also just as tight. You know what I mean? That's full throttle when the throttle position is all the way open. Does that make sense? Is that what you think?
No, well, sort of. I'm thinking not mechanical. I'm thinking foot. Thinking right foot. What is full throttle?
That's when my right foot is all the way down to the floor. There's nowhere else it can go.
I believe the 70s had a saying, pedal to the metal, I believe was the question.
No, I believe the phrase in the 70s was gas, grass, or ass. Nobody around the
The 70s had a few phrases for, eastbound and down, things like that. But so Miss Vicki,
Yeah.
Let's pretend we put you in the seat of Code Name Vicki. And could you maybe put your mind in their mind and figure out what the hell they are confused about? What are they asking? What I did not understand when they wrote in and said, what is full throttle? What is what
What's the breakdown?
Like,
so when you're racing around a track and everybody's like, you just got to be full throttle. Well, some parts of the track you cannot be full throttle. You just can't, because you are overspeeding sections of the track. Or maybe you run out of skill. Because I don't know, it's like, I guess some cars can, go around the track at 110 miles an hour and just hit every turn at 110 miles an hour. But that's what I mean. It's like full throttle.
That's what Code Name Vicki means. Yes.
Yeah. So, but sometimes,
okay,
you might be full throttle in what, third gear? You might be full throttle in Fourth gear,
I think I'm seeing a potential chink in the armor of this logic. But Bren, do you want to
Hmm.
jump in on this one, or am I going to sleep in the bathtub? What do you want to do, Ben?
I think you may have to go straight to the bathtub because some of her reply was breaking up for me, but it sounded like she was sort of making the distinction that you could be in full throttle in second gear, you could be in full throttle in fifth gear. And full throttle might not mean the same thing everywhere. Is that kind of what we were saying? Or was there like
yeah,
a
yeah.
variable understanding of
It's
full
like you
throttle?
slow down for a turn and then you're, foot to the floor, like all the way around the track.
No.
And
So,
and that's the translation of full throttle
okay.
is your
Hmm.
foot's to the floor constantly, but you can't have your foot to the floor constantly without eventually throwing
I
off
understand.
stuff off the
I know.
track.
I got you. I understand. So your impression of full throttle means you're driving with your foot all the way on the floor all the time, fully around the track.
When they
Correct. That
say
is
full throttle,
yeah.
that's how it translates.
Right. So that's not what it means. Full throttle doesn't mean you are suddenly on the throttle all the time.
Nope.
When
Hmm.
somebody's saying, "Hey, are you full throttle coming out of turn three right away, or are you having to get all the way to this point to be full throttle?" That's what they're
Right.
asking is they're asking about where's your throttle pedal at that moment on the track. When you're like, I'll use an example from VIR, of course,
Hmm.
but you're like, "Hey, Ben, are you
Things
flat through the
things just
S's?"
don't change. Things just don't change.
That's right. Don't change. But, like, hey Ben, are you able to drive up through the S's flat out, which also is another word for full throttle.
Right.
And I think part of your answer that I couldn't hear very well is some cars might be able to go flat out through a section, and or you might be able to be full throttle through a specific section, and some may not. And there's no better example of this than a Miata, just about anywhere. Like there are so many places you can go full throttle through a whole section of a course, whereas other cars that are building more speed will have to lose more speed before they can carry that similar kind of speed that you and your Miata can carry through when you were able to hold your foot to the floor and keep the throttle open. But full throttle is generally referencing where's your throttle position at a certain point on the track. If somebody says, "Hey, you got to go full throttle," nobody's saying, "Vicky, go drive that thing off a cliff," because that would happen to any of us. If any of us were like, "Hey, we're going to drive this
Right.
car with," and nobody's out there doing that. There's nobody out there driving a car flat out around an old track unless this is an oval track or NASCAR or super speedway or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do have to say that, part of driving is language
Yeah.
and
You suck at
and yeah. So, and that was one where they kept saying you need to be full throttle, and I'm just
yeah.
like, what does that mean?
Okay.
I got you. No, that's fine. I mean, it's I think Bill and I were trying to work our way back to figuring out where is the rupture in the understanding here because we had
Hmm.
people who know the term means have one understanding. Then when you finally kind of explain that, like, oh no, I think Vicky thinks you're pretty much supposed to light the match, throw it in the gas tank, and then strap yourself in, and that's
That's
not.
right. You're supposed
Yeah,
to be puckering all the way around constantly, you
it's
know?
it's more of a targeted type of query when you're talking to a driver. You're like, hey, are you flat out through here, or sorry, are you full throttle through here or not, or when how quickly are you able to get to full throttle? Because the second part of Bill's question was first part was what does full throttle mean, and the second part was what does full throttle do for you, or what were
Yeah.
you asking,
Okay.
Bill?
Well, I think Codename Vicky's problem is she has inserted a word that is not meant to be in there. And you're thinking full throttle all the time. No one said all the time.
Right, it's just part of it. We're just talking about a specific part of the track.
It's
Hmm.
like, when can you get back to full throttle? Where do you get back to full throttle? Let's go to Road Atlanta.
Hmm.
When do you get back to full throttle coming out of turn 7? It's not on full throttle the entire way, and I just hit the brakes to slow down every now and then, but my foot's still planted to the ground. It's when and especially in your Miata. I mean, in Codename Vicky, if she drove her Miata. Uh, when you are on the throttle, you are on the throttle. There is very few places you're going to have maintenance throttle, which is less than full throttle. Almost all the time, full throttle in a Miata is full throttle all the time.
Hmm.
If you're on the throttle, you're on the throttle. There could be some S's where you do some maintenance throttle, but by and large, full throttle to the brake, trail brake in, get your turn done, then get back to full throttle as quick as we can. You're not full throttle through the turn, but you're
Hmm.
full throttle up to the closest point you can do and still do the turn the way you want and back to it as quick as you can.
Right. So I think that also it's the mechanics of the breakdown of this language also translating it into the car. So does that mean like as soon as you are like out of a turn or you just foot to the floor immediately?
Unless you're in a car that has enough power to spin the tires
Right.
where you need to modulate the gas on,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, do you agree? Full throttle, soon as you can, quick as you can.
Like right to the floor. Slam
Right.
it.
If you're on the gas pedal and you're not going into a turn that you need to modulate, or you're in an
Mm-hmm.
S's or something like that, yeah, on the floor.
I know
Yeah,
it's I know it seems like it's like a amateurish question, but you know, when newbies don't understand the language from the beginning, they carry that through their entire race. And and that's part of the hiccups because
Unlearning bad habits.
right, that's one of the things of unlearning is it comes from early language of being instructed and not coached,
Okay.
I guess.
So, so
Just
you and I were at an event,
mhm.
and a friend of ours, code name Alyssa, was in your Miata.
This is where it came from.
Well, this is for instance, maybe.
Mhm.
And I remember sitting there, and you could tell the difference between when you were in the Miata and when she was in the Miata. And I remember Peter Krause jumping up and down, saying one word at the top of his lungs, commitment, which was,
Commitment.
which
what?
was commitment.
Commitment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because when she was on the throttle, it was full every time, full flat floor. And that's a difference that I think you could grow to. Not something I want you to do next time out, first time on the track. Let's do this, but try to get there.
Yeah, for me, my experience was coming out of the world of karting, where you weigh you and your vehicle weigh 350 pounds together, and you have 10 horsepower, where the throttle was a switch, pretty much. Right
Yep.
into Miatas, where also the throttle is a switch. It's an on-off switch for the most part. You're almost never, ever, ever, ever going to need to feather the throttle or be progressive with the throttle in a Miata. If you're driving an 800 horsepower Corvette on 200 tread wear tires or something, then all of a sudden you're going to be able to overrun how much traction you have with how much drive you have. Like you have too much power, you can spin the rear wheels. But with a Miata, probably somewhere between 100 and 120 horsepower,
Even a
you can
BMW 3
you can
Series.
stomp on that gas without any worry of it spinning the rear tires. But that's not to say that 110 horsepower or whatever Miata has isn't significant or useful. It's just not the same kind of power that's going to spin the rear tires, but it is the same kind of power that's going to let you drive your ass off all day and become a really good driver. And I think the idea of and the importance and the reason people stress getting to full throttle coming out of a corner as quickly as possible is that when you're at full throttle or the throttle position is all the way open, that's when you have the most ability to make speed. Yeah, there are factors that are going to affect how much acceleration you have coming out of the corner as you apply the throttle, depending on how much steering angle you still have. You know, how loaded is your outside tire versus your inside tire? How quickly can you get the wheel straight and get the vehicle squared up to then take off? I mean, these are all things that they can affect it, but the main thing that affects that is the position of the throttle. So the idea of getting that throttle pedal all the way down first and then dealing with everything else later is the idea of like, let's get this thing moving. And even if things are squirrely or coming out, I'll deal with that. But the main thing is I want to have the throttle pedal down. So if you're watching like a video for like watching my video or of me driving, I'm way more concerned with getting the throttle pedal down, even if the car gets assy or if it's tight. Like if the front end don't want to go over, the ass end wants to go too much, whatever that is, it's the key to me in that situation is trying to get the throttle pedal down or the throttle to full throttle. So I don't think I use the term
They're
full
both the
throttle
same.
very much,
I mean, they're
but
interchangeable.
trying to get back to full throttle as quickly as possible and dealing with whatever minor adverse uh, handling consequences come with that as I work with it. So not everybody can do that. and it's something you got to kind of work up to. But having the full throttle as your ideal that you're always working up to, like, man, I got to get this wheel straight so I can mat the gas and go, or man, I got to get through this thing so I can get my foot back down. But that's always your goal, is to be as fully committed into the throttle as you could be in that instance. I mean, it's not right in the middle of the corner like Bill said, but it is sort of like, if you were somebody who wears a cross around your neck for your religion, leave the cross at home on track weekends, and then wear a medal around your neck that says full throttle. That's how important it is. Like, like, make that your religion at the track. Full throttle. I got to get this throttle open because I got to go. I got to do. I got to win this race. There's no waiting around. It's a race, not a wait. Let's crack this throttle open right now, and then we'll just got to go.
It's a race, not a wait.
Damn right.
Every time he says that, you treat it like it's the first time you've ever heard him say it. But
funny.
So let's pretend we're at Mid-Ohio, my dear.
Yes.
And we're coming out of the keyhole. Nice 180-degree turn. Let's say you're in third gear.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You get the car's getting out of that turn. You're getting down to that back straightaway. And as soon as you can, you get the full throttle in third gear.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And then you ride full throttle all the way to when you're at the red line, hopefully just a little short. Pop the clutch, off the gas, pop the clutch, change gear, put the gas down, boom, full throttle the entire way. Fourth gear. Hopefully you get the fifth gear. If you've done this early enough, you've carried enough speed, hopefully you get the fifth gear. Is it worth going and maintaining full throttle in fourth gear and hitting the rev limiter, or getting that extra few hundred feet in fifth gear? Probably worth getting the fifth gear. If it's like 10 feet, maybe not worth it. Maybe not worth the shift. But try to get to fifth gear as soon as you can, as early as you can on that back straight, and then downshift going into China Beach, right? But your full throttle going into the keyhole, once you're braking, obviously not full throttle, maintaining your gas through the keyhole because it's a fairly long turn. And then you are, as soon as you can, as early as you can, even with the car still sliding a little bit, bang.
Full throttle.
That's right. And then full throttle the entire way, except when you're shifting, because you don't want to be power shifting.
Yes.
Full throttle.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense now that I've kind of stepped back a little bit and kind of digested everything from the last couple years, that those are some of the things that I've already been doing and working on. It was just the language of it. Like I kept thinking I was doing something wrong, but actually I wasn't. I was just
like, if you were to do a drag race, right? You adjust the clutch, you get off the line. Once you're off the line, full throttle. Then you shift, blip the gas, back on the gas, full throttle. Shift, flat, blip, full throttle until you hit the end. Hopefully you're in a car fast enough to need a parachute, because it's just cool. I mean, let's be real. Cars with parachutes. Yeah. Never driven one, but seems like it would be cool. Full throttle. If you're not spinning the tires because you're accelerating too fast, or you've got too much torque spinning the tires, if you're not losing tire traction and you're going straight, you have nothing else to do but be full throttle. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy.
I'm already been doing that. I tell you, what is it? Alyssa was her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very inspiring when she gave me a reference lap. Couple reference laps.
And if you notice, if her reference lap has I'm doing figures for the people at home. Her reference lap had a little steeper acceleration than yours. You know why? Because she was full throttle, and she was
full throttle as soon as she got out of the turn.
That's right.
Did you guys get to meet Alyssa Merrill?
Yes.
She
awesome.
drove out.
I haven't met her, but I'm just like social media connect to her. I think that would be really cool to get to say hi and meet her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to ride around with her.
Yeah, she came out and she took the car out at the Ross Bentley clinic that I went to.
That's awesome.
And she just reference lapped it, got data and everything, and they compared the data. They were similar, except I just didn't get on the gun fast enough. So.
And you didn't get on it all the way.
That's where the time is.
Yeah.
Riding around on as much of the gas as you can be on is where all your lap time is.
But there was similarity, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
You were good.
That's great.
If I recall, and I don't have the data in front of me, but if I recall, min speeds in the turns were about the
Mhm.
same.
That's
Mhm.
good.
Her
Good.
time at the min speed was shorter. You know why? Because she went back to full throttle.
That's
All
right.
right, all right, all right. So, Bill, let me help ease you away from the bathtub tonight, and let's talk about something else. I think we've covered full throttle
I
and its
can see a
importance.
pillow in the bathtub already.
Okay, okay. Let's try to
At
help
least I
Bill.
get a pillow this time.
Let's try to help Bill out. So,
All right.
yeah, it's better than that bag of golf balls you got last time in there, right?
Yeah.
So, check this out. I noticed a subcurrent in this discussion that I think is worth talking about while we're in here anyway. We're already talking about this, but Vicki, you've kind of gone along all this time with a pretty big misconception about jargon in our world with the term of full throttle, which is pretty central to the idea of racing and understanding its application. So now we are there and we've done it. But I can picture so many times when I've been in one of those like classroom sessions with an instructor at the track where if I had a question like that and I was as far along in this as you were, I would have been like, I'm not going to ask that question because this guy's going to be a dick about answering it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
have ever felt like I don't want to ask this question because this guy knows everything. He's already spent this whole time up here trying to show everybody in this room that he knows everything, right?
Mhm.
And there are definitely times where I would have been reticent to ask a question, especially if in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know this is a pretty basic concept and I should have this already because I'm in
Mhm.
here with a bunch of advanced students or whatever it is. I'm not trying to say this is your situation. I'm just trying to put myself in
Mhm.
this similar kind of timeline. But I would be like, this dude has been up here prancing up and down in front of all of us, talking about how awesome he was. I had a classroom instructor make us watch videos of him driving around VIR, and his car was a turbo RX-7. So he had, instead of us listening to him like doing the stuff in his car, the whole thing was soundtracked to Judas Priest's Turbo Lover, and we had to
Oh
watch this guy
God.
rip his car around VIR, listening to his soundtrack was Turbo Lover on his videos, and we had to watch him as if there was going to be some. And then, am I going to
Oh.
ask that guy? Am I going to ask that full throttle means? Like, no. So I think it's important to get your questions out, but I also understand the fact of being like, I'm not asking this or what full throttle is. Like, he's gonna be like he's gonna be a turd about it. He's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's the feeling I have as like an introvert who
Mhm.
hates asking questions to begin with. I would have been watching this guy running the driver's meeting or the classroom session, like strutting up and down. They're like, nah, I'll just go the rest of my life without knowing what that is because
Mhm.
I'd rather die than ask this for a question. Yeah, so I get it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying this. I'm not saying this like I have a solution. I'm not telling everybody just ask every question you have because it's hard to just say. I just wanted to acknowledge that it's hard to ask these wizened, hardened old track rats a question sometimes because they're just such heads about it, you know?
Well, I also think too, like in our
We're
situation,
not talking about Ross and Peter, by the way.
right?
No, 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 not this.
No, no,
Those
no,
guys,
no, no.
those guys are a class apart. But I'm just saying, like, it's your average ass track day where some dude who should never
Yeah.
be in front of people at all is running this
Well, the
classroom
other,
session. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want to deal with this.
well, at the same time is that, some groups don't focus on that kind of training. It's more of an external view. Here's what you don't do, but they don't
Yeah,
tell you what to do. So, depending on where you go for instruction, um, some of those details are already assumed because, you're already doing it.
right.
You've already been doing it. And I believe that sometimes when people get so far along that they kind of forget what the basics actually are. So some of those rudimentary questions, um, they, they just never really come up. And, in my head, I've gotten this far along and I've been doing the work and I've been doing it correctly, just not getting the language matched up to it.
Right.
So,
So that's a tough one. But I totally understand how you got there. Like, I get it.
yeah. And early on in those seasons too, you're just being blasted with a fire hose with
Yeah.
information. So, it's just like, do this, don't do this, now go. Okay. And that's what it
Yeah.
is. And then you come back in and everybody complains about point buys. So,
Yeah.
and that's all the instruction that you get is just a whole, 20 minutes of everybody complaining about point buys. Okay, now go out and do it again. And that's it. So, you're learning on your own and you're grabbing information as you go along and things slip up. And I'm sure there's plenty of stupid questions like, And we've had the questions before, is the whole concept of heel toe. You know, I think we've already had these conversations about, the idea and design and the workings of a heel toe.
How
But
am I supposed to heal my body when my toe is still hurting?
that's right. But the thing is that watching it happen, like on a film or something like that, where you go through it, but somebody trying to explain it, it doesn't make sense.
Right. If somebody just tells
It
you
really
something
doesn't.
as complicated as heel toe, you're like, wait, what? What are
And
you
you might
talking
not use
about?
your heel, and you might
Yeah,
use
and
your
how
toe.
does that work? And what if the pedals are too far apart? And sometimes it's just weird. So so yeah, I mean, it's it's I think for me the hardest part, one of the hardest parts about racing and working on cars is just language and definition and symbols of, you know, what parts are
Yeah,
and how they operate. It's literally it is a whole different language that you're
yeah, it's a whole
learning.
different world. Yeah,
It is. So things slip up, and it's never be ashamed to ask any of the questions for clarification, because it helps you unlearn bad habits.
If only there was a podcast that dealt with like 101 type things. Maybe I bet you they could get a lot of episodes about all these little basic questions, you know?
Yeah. I know, you know what? I know that I have more. It's just that we've been away for a little while. And they're just I guess you would call them fine tuning at this point, you know, fine tuning and clarifications. But I really am amazed that I've made it this far along and not really understanding that definition properly.
well, we got that covered tonight, so that's a big step.
Yeah.
Speaking of things we need to cover tonight, before we ditch this one,
Okay.
Ben Dawson, we've had some listener feedback since we were
Yeah,
on the short hiatus and family life, medical,
yeah,
physical,
yeah.
spiritual storms. We had some feedback.
Great.
And they wanted to discuss, perhaps even have a full-length episode on driving songs. And I was wondering if, the one thing that's a problem with the podcast is you sit there, you're trying to concentrate on the question, you're trying to concentrate on the answers, you're trying to listen to everybody, and it's hard to think at the same time. And the best thing about uh, being eloquent and fluent in your speech
Hmm.
is not thinking when you're talking.
Right.
Okay.
No
Guilty.
problem.
Guilty. Did you listen to our driving songs podcast and sit there and say, we forgot, or am I going down the wrong path?
Did I listen to the driving
Yeah. Do you have any
songs
driving
episode?
songs that we missed? Do you have any like you're like,
Yeah, I don't. I didn't. So let's just start with full transparency. It's possible I might not even been aware that there was a driving songs episode.
oh,
Let's just get that out there. It's
well, we
possible
did it.
that could
So,
be that could was I on it? Was I in there? Did
yeah,
I do it?
you were on it.
Jesus Christ, where was I? So I don't remember what was said or what was established, but I'll say I've been really enjoying Electric Feel lately. I know everybody loves Electric Feel. That's a great driving down the road song. My
Okay.
kids have been into it. Also Spirit in the Sky,
Oh
the
yeah.
Kentucky
Norman
Headhunters,
Greenbaum.
not Norman Greenbaum, the Kentucky Headhunters version.
Oh, okay.
Slamming.
Really?
Slamming. Check that out. Great driving song. You got to have AC/DC Ride On, old Bon Scott song. I'm on a ride on. Yeah. Any ZZ Top pretty much gets you down the road for
Yeah.
damn sure. Dwight Yoakam, great
Yoakum?
driving songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I got to say today.
All right. All right. Very good. I was just, I figured we needed to chime in and give you your shot. So,
Yeah, I also listened to what did I have to listen to with my daughter tonight? Let me go back to my music app because it's still up there. Uh-oh. Oh, I had to listen to Baby Rap. There's also a
not Baby
song
Shark,
called
right? That's
It's
different.
Raining Farts, I think. My son was like, "Hey, look up It's Raining Farts." And I did think it wasn't a song. But guess what?
It's a song.
It's a song. So don't drive listening to Baby Rap or It's Raining Farts unless you hate yourself. But those are a couple other driving songs that I've encountered lately.
Mhm.
I'm not big on.
And as a public service announcement, speaking for the entire paddock at New Hampshire Motorsports Park,
Mhm.
Baby Shark is not a driving song,
No,
Ah,
God.
especially at 7:30 1:30 in the morning, Sunday morning.
Well, do y'all know what? Have you guys ever done a NASA Mid-Atlantic event before?
I think we did a crossover. I don't think we did a full-fledged one.
So the guy Chris Cabetto, who runs NASA Mid-Atlantic,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he still does this or not.
He does. He's supposed to be on the
Also-
podcast. We just keep missing each other with schedules.
Also, a guy who called me at 9:30 in the morning on a Friday one day when I was at work to talk to me about a Facebook comment I made, and just like really just kind of check in and see where my head was at. I was like, "Hey, don't you have a full-time job? Because I do. Like, I don't want to talk about a Facebook comment at 9:30 in the morning. How did you get my cell phone number?" Anyway, this guy Chris Cabetto, he always sings. I think it's a Frank Sinatra song, "Fly Me to the Moon."
Mm-hmm.
Like, as he's trying to get ready to wake up, he'll start hearing he'll be like, "Fly me to the moon." Just him singing. He's not playing the song over the radio. It's him singing it over the radio.
I won't clip that and use that as anything for any future podcast.
Fly me to the moon.
Very well.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Well, there
You
it
did
is.
There you go.
Well, there it is. Here you go. We're back.
Dominating with Dawson in the books, and we're flying to the moon.
Good night.
Long
Good night.
awaited, never imitated. It's back. You thought you were safe, but no. We found him. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
you.
All right, you got time for one more? Or you want to?
Yeah. Did you say long awaited but never imitated?
That's right.
I can't use that. I was just sitting here trying to be quiet so you could like have a cut. As soon as I felt like we're gonna I had to ask him about that. You guys, you have that, and you got letter rip tater chip this. And
That's right. I got that one too.